I'm typically a dreamer of design, but our sponsor PCBWay can turn those dreams into reality. So you don't have a CNC machine or heavy-duty 3D printing. You also probably don't have personal ability to do injection molding or sheet metal fabrication, but you do have an idea for a custom PC tower build to be your end-all, be-all, everything chassis. PCBWay offers all of the services you need to manufacture and produce your designs. Check the link down below to get started today. Hey guys, what's up? It's Matt with 86. When Audio-Technica released the LP3, it instantly went on my list of excitement. You may want to hear a sample, and if you want to do that, just go to this timestamp, where I'm going to put it head-to-head with my Fluence favorite. The LP3, it has almost everything going for it for its weight class. This is a big step up from the LP60 series in terms of end-user control, while oddly and simultaneously robbing us of some of that end-user control and sort of both neat, weird features that it has, which made me tilt my head and go, why? But you guys be the judge of that. Let's break this thing down. In the box is a rubber slip mat, a metal platter with belt pre-wrapped on the inside of it, a counterweight, the head shell, and an 1891R pre-installed on that head shell, a dust cover, a power cable, a 45 adapter, and of course the turntable itself. Unfortunately, Audio-Technica has determined for you that you must be within 3 feet of your source and or ground. If you use a preamp in a separate location and need to ground it, tough, says Audio-Technica. They decided to use these captive cables limited to 3 feet and bundled together. It's manageable in my case, but important to know for some of you that have specific and meticulous setups that this will be limiting for. Besides captive cables, this casual turntable is a step up of excellence considering its price point and upgradability, as well as its fully automatic feature. Setup is cake. Set the metal platter over the spindle while using one finger to hold the belt in place, and place the belt over the motor groove. Then place the slip mat on top, and then move over to the tone arm. Affix the weight and secure the head shell to the tone arm. Remove the needle guard, and start to carefully find a 0 point of balance by adjusting the tone arm's weight. Once you have it floating and balanced, spin the plastic indicator to 0, and then apply the gram force recommended for the needle by turning the whole weight. In my case, I'm sitting around 2.1 gram force. Once that's taken care of, simply put the dust cover into the hinged grooves, and you're ready to hook it up and start listening. People interested in fine-tuning anti-skating can use the dial on the right of the tone arm to adjust it to their stylus gram force recommendation. The turntable's overall construction feels far more quality than the LP60 series ever did. The LP3 is hard, durable, and solid feeling. Audio-Technica sticks to 4 points of contact using 4 feet with rubber grips to aid in isolation on the bottom. A detachable HS3 head shell is fantastic for changing cartridges, or just having a second one for a more upgraded cart that you might add on there later. I'll likely throw a gold ring E3 on this turntable in time, but as of right now the 1891R will be fine for me. Audio-Technica has made it simple for us to do here all the upgrade that we want right there on an easy detachable head shell. On the top front right is a lever for selecting between 12-inch LPs and 7-inch EPs. Below that lever on the front face is the start and stop for automatic playthrough or canceling play. It unfailingly starts where it should, and when the tone arm hits the inner dead wax, it returns it to its resting position and shuts off as it should. The Q lever can be used to stop play in place, and of course manual movement to select songs you want to listen to. On the front left is a selector for 33 1/3 and 45 speeds. Popping around to the back is where we find one of those Y features. We have 2 toggles. One is for bypassing the preamp to go to a phono source, and the other one is to select between moving magnet cartridges and moving coil cartridges. I'm not saying moving coil cartridges won't possibly end up on one of these, but I am thinking it. If you have a moving coil cartridge, you probably have a more elaborate turntable or a preamp setup with a moving coil setting. Is that a nice way to say it? It's interesting, it's there, it feels unnecessary to me though. My personal setup is a little bit humble. That being said, we will do stock LP3 1891R versus Fluence RT82 with an MP110 on it. Both these cartridges are well broken in at this point. I'll be hooking up to a Fozzy Box phono preamp connected to a Sony STR DH190, playing out over Starfavor passive speakers. With permissions from the artist, I'll be using a lathe cut 180 gram polycarbonate print your vinyl featuring Liquid's Birthday and a pressed record using Your Lad's Salt the Earth. in my opinion, upgrading the cartridge on the LP3 should be on anyone's wish list to do with this turntable, but the 1891R is a great one to start with. Besides captive cables, this is a stellar feature-rich turntable. Remember, wherever you start, whatever you get, if it makes you happy, that's all that matters. I hope this was somewhat helpful and useful to you. Have a great day, night, whatever it is. I'll see you in the next video that I do.